Our topic for today is the formula for the nth term of geometric sequence, and that is a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1, where a sub n is the nth term of geometric sequence, a sub 1 is the first term, n is the term number or number of terms, and r is the common ratio. Let's have an example. Write a formula for the nth term of the given geometric sequence. 8, 2, 1 half, 1 8, and 1 over 32. So, for our solution, we're going to use the general term for geometric sequence, that is a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. So, to write the formula for the given geometric sequence, we need to find the variable. So, let's start with the first term. So, from the given geometric sequence, our first term is that's 8. Now, let's find the common ratio. So, to find the common ratio, just simply get the ratio of the consecutive terms. So, let's start with first and second term. So, the common ratio is second term over first term. Just simply substitute. So, our second term is 2 and first term is 8. Just simply simplify or get the lowest term of that ratio. 2 over 8 is 1/4. So therefore, our common ratio is 1/4. So always remember, you need to find the simplest form of the common ratio. So since n term ang hanapin natin, we don't have the value for n and a sub n. So just simply substitute from the given geometric formula the value of first term and the common ratio. So therefore, our answer is a sub n is equal to 8 times 1/4 raised to n minus 1. So that is the formula for the nth term of the given geometric sequence. Now, let's have the second example. Write the first three terms of geometric sequence whose nth term is given by a sub n is equal to 3 times negative 5 raised to n minus 1. So, as you can see, with this example, the formula for the nth term of geometric sequence is given. Now, we need to find the first three terms. So, for our solution, let's write the given formula. That is a sub n is equal to 3 times negative 5 raised to n minus 1. Since first three term ang hanapin natin, the value of n are 1, 2, and 3. So let's start with the first term. So if that is the first term, the value of n is 1. Substitute that in the given formula. So we have 3 times negative 5 raised to 1 minus 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So we have 3 times negative 5 raised to 0. Any number raised to 0 is equal to 1. So we have 3 times 1. And 3 times 1 is 3. So that is the value for the first term. So here's the solution using the calculator. So we have 3 times negative 5 raised to 1 minus 1. So, as you can see on the lower right side, makikita natin yung answer, and that is 3. Next, for second term, the value of n is 2. Okay, so again, substitute for the value of n. So, we have 3 times negative 5 raised to 2 minus 1. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So, we have negative 5 raised to 1, and that is negative 5. And 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. So that is our second term. And for that, here's the solution using the calculator. So again, 3 times negative 5 raised to 2 minus 1. So it gives negative 15. So we can easily get the answer using the calculator. Next, for the third term, the value of n is 3. Substitute again, 3 times negative 5 raised to 3 minus 1. And 3 minus 1 is 2. So, negative 5 raised to 2 is positive 25. And 3 times 25 is 75. So, that is our third term. And here's the solution again using the calculator. So, we have 3 times negative 5 raised to 3 minus 1. And that is positive 25. So, therefore, our answer are the first three terms are 3, negative 15, and positive 75. Next, find the fifth term of geometric sequence whose a sub 1 is equal to 2 and r is equal to 3. So for our solution, a sub 5 or the fifth term is unknown. So since fifth term ang hanapin natin, the value of n is 5. And from the given, our first term or a sub 1 is 2. And the common ratio is 3. So to find the fifth term, just simply use the formula a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. So substitute all the values. So a sub 5 is equal to, first term is 2 times, the common ratio is 3 raised to n is 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. So we have 2 times 3 raised to 4. And 3 raised to 4 is 2 times 81. And 2 times 81 is 162. So therefore, our fifth term is 162. And here's the solution in the calculator. So we have 2 times 3 raised to 5 minus 1. And that is also 162. Next, find the eighth term of geometric sequence whose first term is 1/4 and the common ratio is negative 2. So that is the same example as number 3. So again, for our solution, eighth term or a sub 8 is unknown and n is 8. So that is the sub number for the unknown term. And first term is 1/4 and r, the common ratio is negative 2. Again, use the formula for the general term of geometric sequence a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. Substitute all the values. So we have a sub 8 is equal to 1/4 times r is negative 2 raised to 8 minus 1. 8 minus 1 is 7. So we have 1/4 times negative 2 raised to 7. Negative 2 raised to 7 is negative 128. So we have 1/4 times negative 128. And 1/4 times negative 128 is negative 32. Here's the solution for the calculator. We have 1/4 times negative 2 raised to 8 minus 1. And that is negative 32. So, kung ma-master nyo ang paggamit ng calculator, mas mabilis nyo makukuha yung correct answer. Next, example number 5. Find the first term of geometric sequence whose sixth term is negative 160 and whose common ratio is negative 2. So for our solution, so let's get all the given. The unknown is the first term, so wala tayong a sub 1. And a sub 6 is negative 160. N is 6. So that is the last given term from the given sequence. And r, the common ratio is negative 2. Use the formula and substitute all the value. So ang ating a sub n, that is our a sub 6. So we have negative 160 is equal to a sub 1 is unknown times r is negative 2 raised to 6 minus 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. So we have negative 2 raised to 5. solve for negative 2 raised to 5, and that is negative 32. So, negative 32 times a sub 1 is negative 32 a sub 1. So, to solve for a sub 1, divide both sides by negative 32 using multiplication property of equality. So, negative 160 divided by negative 32 is positive 5. So, that is our first two. And for our last example, in a geometric sequence, if the first term is 1/3 and the 8th term is 1/28 over 3, what is the common ratio? So for our solution, the common ratio is unknown. First term is 1/3. 8th term or a sub 8 is 1/28 over 3 and n is 8. So to find the common ratio, use the formula and substitute all the value. So our a sub n is 1/28 over 3. Our first term is 1/3. R is unknown. N is 8 minus 1. 8 minus 1 is 7. So we have 1/28 over 3 is equal to 1/3 times R raised to 7. Then, to remove the denominator, so multiply all terms by 3. So, maka-cancelled out yung denominator. Magkakaroon tayo ng 128 is equal to 1 times R raised to 7 or just simply R raised to 7. So, how are we going to solve for R? So, since meron tayong exponent for 7, so, kukunin natin yung 7th root ng 128. And the 7th root of 128 is positive 2. So, here's the solution how to get the 7th root. So, shift, then yung keys for the square root, then change natin yung 3 as 7th root, then we have 128, and that is positive 2. Okay, so that's all for today. So I hope you learn about the n term of geometric sequence.